Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. I hope that you're all okay. This week I wanted to talk to you about how to worry less about what other people think of you. I know this is a worry for a lot of us. Like, a lot of us are very sensitive souls and we have these kinds of worries. The idea for this vlog, and I just want to do a very chilled, cozy, sit down kind of chat with you about this, but the idea came from my best friend Jess, who messaged me yesterday asking me how I had got over the worries of what other people think, because she's been a best friend of mine for years and very much a part of this online career that I have managed to forge for myself somehow. So she's seen all the struggles that I've had from, getting started in the beginning and worrying about people that I know, seeing stuff and what they might think, and then worrying about offending, random people in terms of readers or people who watch these vlogs. Like, literally, when you put something out onto the internet, anybody can watch it and people have opinions, and I have had those, come back at me. And in the beginning, it's absolutely awful. Like, it's absolutely soul destroying. It's awful that it's part of being online, but I think people think that you are fair game when you put yourself out there. So yeah, I have had my fair share of having to deal with this kind of stuff, but even just on like a day-to-day level, I know a lot of us have these kinds of concerns. So I thought this week I would share 4 things that have really helped me be a lot more at ease with myself in terms of what other people think, because getting over that struggle has really helped me feel more confident, and it's helped me to be more myself and a lot less of a people pleaser, which I know is something else that a lot of us struggle with. Tip number 1 is that you will never completely not care. Those people who say, I don't care what anyone thinks of me, I'm genuinely not bothered, I would worry about, because it is a very normal human feeling to feel a little bit insecure about what other people might think of you, to not want to upset people, to not want to isolate yourself, ostracize yourself. We are very social beings. It is in our nature to want to fit in. And I think understanding that just validates those feelings, and that is a really, really important first step to allow yourself to feel that way, but also reassure yourself that that is very, very normal. Like, not even generations, you're talking, back when we literally lived in tribes, our survival was based on our ability to fit in, because if we didn't fit in, we would be kicked out of the tribe and it would be a lot harder for us to survive. So that is why those feelings come up inside us. So it's very, very normal. I think it means that you are also a very kind and compassionate person to care as well. I wouldn't want to ever be at the other end of the scale. So never feel like, those feelings, those worries are a real problem, because they're not. And I think it's really important to just try to accept them and see that that is all completely normal. And if you can, just breathe into them and live alongside them and get used to that kind of discomfort. Tip number 2 is that it is impossible for everyone to like you. The only way that this is even possible, or you could try to make this possible, and even if you did, I don't think this would work, is to be a chameleon, where you change according to who you are with in order to make that person like you, which is basically people pleasing. And even then, it's just not going to work. It is totally okay that some people don't like you, don't agree with what you've got to say. Like, that is totally normal and completely fine. And if you flip it around, like, there are people in your life or people that you've come across that you haven't liked so much and that you haven't agreed with. Yeah, it's just completely normal, totally part of life. So I think lowering our expectations in terms of expecting everyone to like us can really, really help, because when that doesn't happen, or we find ourselves worrying about what everyone's thinking so much, it doesn't trigger us quite as much. So the more that you step into that chameleon, people-pleasing kind of role, the more that you are stepping away from your true, authentic self. And that is not worth doing for anyone. That is literally soul destroying. It feels so much better, so much more secure to at least know that you are standing your ground, you are grounded, you're standing in your truth, in your identity, you're sharing your opinions and living a life by your values. And if people don't like that, then, like I said, not everyone is going to. That's okay. Like, the right people will stay, and we have to let the, not necessarily wrong, just the people who aren't for us step away, fall away. Yeah. This video is very kindly sponsored by Skillshare. Skillshare, if you haven't already heard of them, are an online learning community with thousands of classes ranging from creative to self-development and self-care as well. I've been a lover of Skillshare for years. I rely on it to teach me photography, videography, everything to do with that kind of stuff. But more recently, I have been diving into it for self-care purposes as well. And my favourite class lately has been Kat Coquelette's Modern Watercolour Techniques, Explore Skills to Create On-Trend Paintings. I've really been enjoying this. Like, I love to paint, but it's the kind of thing that I'm not very good at, and I just do for fun, for a laugh, and I find it like super relaxing. So it's a nice thing to do in the evening or on the weekends. And I just really love the way that Kat explains the bare basics and gives you things to follow, explains all the equipment that you need. It's a really, really easy, short, quick class that's taught me loads, and now I feel able to like paint on my own after that. Skillshare is also 100% ad-free, which I love, and the first 1,000 people to sign up for Skillshare using the link that I will leave in the description will get a 1 month free trial. So if it sounds like something that you'd like to try, then have a look at that link and you can take a look and use that to sign up if you want to. Number 3 is probably the biggest lesson that I have learned, and this is that what others say and think about you is a reflection of themselves and actually has very little to do with you, and that works vice versa. So we have this thing where we project our own insecurities, our own reality, like we view the world, we view people according to our own version of reality. If that person, reminds you of someone who's caused you any trauma or any distress, like at any point in your life, you're not going to like them as much. And that has very little to do with that person. Also, if people are very critical of you, unforgiving, attacking of you, so I'm thinking in terms of internet trolls, who are probably the extreme version of this. Those people, internet trolls are said to be quite psychopathic and narcissistic. So yeah, not really something to worry about what that kind of person thinks of you. But yeah, it's all projection. So if people are very critical of you, very harsh, very judgmental, it is a reflection of themselves. That is their inner world being vomited out really, and they're throwing all of that onto you, and it's got very little to do with you. It's just a reflection of them. So there is very little need to take that kind of stuff personally. That really, really helped me, because I could just think, well, I mean, usually they're actually talking about themselves as opposed to you or something that you've triggered in them. And as long as that wasn't your intention, to cause any harm, because obviously if you've made a mistake or you've caused someone harm on purpose, that's not good. And you can apologize for that. But as long as the intention was genuine and honest and honorable, then that's completely fine. And people will interpret your whole being, like what you say, what you do, according to their version of reality. And it has very little to actually do with you. Tip number 4 is to take a boundaried approach. So this is something that I worked on quite a lot at the beginning of this year. And the best description I've ever heard around boundaries is Terry Reals in his book Fierce Intimacy. And he describes it as an orange, where we have the stuff that we hold on the inside, so all the stuff that we think. Again, going back to what I was just saying about people projecting, like that's quite a boundaryless approach to life, because they're just letting all that stuff pour out of them. So we all think things, we all think not very great things about people, but it's acting on those things is very, very different. Like a good, kind, genuine, honest person might think something, but they're not going to take nasty action on that. They're just going to sidestep, like, unfollowing someone if it's not for you, but you're not going to start attacking them online, because that's just awful. So that's having healthy boundaries from that point of view. And then on the flip side, in this kind of situation, it's about what you let permeate that skin, that outer skin of the orange, is Terry's way of talking about it. I hope this is all making sense. But yeah, just having a filter on what you actually allow to infiltrate and permeate your thoughts and your brain. So if someone, is thinking or saying not very good things about you, or you're worrying about that, it's really important to just take a step back and ask yourself, is this actually true? I don't know, say someone's fallen out with you because you didn't, go to their party or a kid's party or something like that, and they think you're a horrible person because of that, but you actually had genuine reasons, or it just wasn't in line with your values or whatever. They're thinking like, oh, you're a horrible person for not doing that. You can ask yourself, is that actually true? Or if people aren't agreeing with your opinions and they're saying that you could be loads of different things. Again, just asking yourself, well, is this true? And this is something that I have to do a lot when people completely disagree with me or just try and tear me to shreds. And often, the answer, that it is not true. If you have concerns that this might be true, then don't listen to that person. Ask people in your life who you very much care about and trust. I think it's a Brene Brown thing where she has a post-it on her wall with the names of people whose opinions she actually cares about and trusts. So that would be a really good example. And just ask them, do you think that this is true about me? Because I think to a certain extent, it's important that we do care about what people think of us, because if we're acting in a way that is toxic or just not great, we're all flawed, nobody's perfect, we all have improvements to make on ourselves, and if someone is highlighting those kinds of improvements, then I think it's important that we know about those so that we can improve ourselves and become better people. But do not make yourself very vulnerable to people who are, not great, not nice. They're not the right people to be listening to. People that you genuinely care about and trust, and genuinely care about you and trust you as well. are. I really hope this helped anyone who is feeling those struggles and those sensitivities around just worrying about what other people think. These things have really, really helped me get to a place where, I mean, like I said, I still care what other people think, but it doesn't stop me from doing the things that I want to do anymore. It doesn't stop me from living the kind of life that I want to, and I'm really grateful for that. It has most definitely really increased my confidence. So hopefully me sharing those with you will do the same as well. And if you've got any of your own stories about this or tips or anything like that, please leave them in the comments if you want to add anything so that we can all have a look. But big thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this vlog, and a huge thank you to everyone who supports the brands that do sponsor these vlogs. It's really, really important to me, and I am so, so grateful. And the first 1,000 people to sign up for Skillshare will get that 1 month free trial with the link that I will leave in the description for you. But thank you so much for watching as always, and take care, lots of love, and I'll see you soon.